What's going on, my friends? I wanted to get on real quick and talk about something that I'm using. Actually, it's incorporated with something that I've used for a very long time. I've actually been using it since one, and they're an incredible company. And like I said, I'm just getting on talking about it as it works for me. By no means at all is this ever anything sponsored. I'm not even close to that. I don't have enough subscribers for the garbage man to sponsor me, much less anything else. However, those of you know that I write music for film and TV, and I compose a lot of stuff in Omnisphere, which is made by a company called Spectrasonics. That's Spectra, there's an A in there, Spectrasonics. If you just look up Omnisphere, it'll send you the link to the company of Spectrasonics and all their products. Just recently, they released some side products, and they haven't released anything in a while, but that's what's so good about them. They put an intense amount of time in research and development in everything they do. Eric PERSING is the guy that heads that company, and he's a genius when it comes to sound design. But they just released a series of products called Sonic Extensions. Now, I think they had like 4 of them. I only got 2. The 2 that will really work for me right now. I may get the other 2 later. The other is for lo-fi stuff, which is incredible. I got Nylon Sky, and I got Undercurrents. Undercurrents is perfect for the tension and stuff. In fact, here's a patch of one of them you can hear. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why don't you put it on the screen and show us about it? Well, I'm not equipped for that right now, and I'm not real good with that. There are a lot of channels, and the one particular is Spectrasonics YouTube. Go watch Eric Pershing and some of the guys and some of the artists that they pulled in showcase this stuff and what they can do with it, because that will give you a better idea than I can. I just want to give you my perspective on it as just a recommendation that Spectrasonics is an incredible company, hands down. You better know that anything they're doing is tops. Now listen, I love Native Instruments, and I use a ton of it. But their nylon string plugin doesn't come close to Nylon Sky. I'm not being partial. I'm just telling you, Nylon Sky is probably the most beautiful and most articulated VST nylon string guitar instrument out there. Besides the fact that you sit down and play it, and I'm a guitar player, but sometimes with what they have, it's kind of cool to bring that up and add touches into the things that I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a guitar player. But I'm not a classical guitarist and all that jazz. And there's some things that I like to bring in that might not be in my style of a wheelhouse as a guitar player. I've been playing for a long time. You would think, oh, you could be, but it doesn't always work that way. So, but I'm telling you, if you don't have Omnisphere, that's a must-have regardless. I own everything besides the other 2 Sonic extensions that Spectrasonic has. I have Trillion, I have Stylus RX, I have Keyscape, which is some of the most beautiful pianos you'll ever hear, and Omnisphere. In fact, Keyscape, years ago when it came out, was at the NAMM show. Stevie Wonder sat down, and he started hearing the pianos, and he's kept asking, "I'm sure this ain't a real piano, or this." What's amazing with Keyscape is their electric pianos. Their Rhodes keyboards are incredible. Go check that out too. As I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Omnisphere. You just can't go wrong. Omnisphere is my Swiss Army knife when it comes to a lot of things that I do, and I love it. If I just had Omnisphere and let's put it this way: if I just had every one of Spectrasonics products for synth stuff, I'd probably be okay. But Native Instruments came out with all this incredible stuff I had needed, and I'm a software junkie anyway, don't get me wrong. Last night I was looking at something 8DO has put out, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I want it. 8DO is incredible. But 8DO has released something called SOUNDPAINT. I was watching some videos on SOUNDPAINT last night. That's incredible. But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, before I go buy SOUNDPAINT, which is incredible, the pianos are incredible in that. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to Native Instruments, who has a lot of that stuff. The key to that one is a lot of the sound morphing that it does. Like takes a piano and a chorus or just any kind of sample, and however you point it, it makes one instrument morph into the other and turns that instrument into the other instrument's characteristics. It's hard to explain. You have to go watch it and see. If you familiar with 8DO, it's the number 8 DIO, all one word, 8DO, and go look up SOUNDPAINT. Really cool. Let's go dig in deeper to, because a lot of the new stuff with native instruments, which is incredible, has a lot of you can bring different samples in. I did it yesterday with something I was working on. It's incredible to take just different samples and mix them, and then take your XY axis and just kind of blend them however you want them to pulse or blend. And it's kind of morphing, but SOUNDPAINT, I'm kind of I had to watch it twice and go, okay, I get it. It's a bit different. And it would be cool if native instruments had more of that, but it just always takes that one company to bring something different in, and then forces other companies to kind of come in and go, okay, we have our version of it, or I get it, That idea isn't patent, but maybe the software is. So, however that may be, there's so much incredible stuff out there. You can really get overwhelmed. I got stuff from 8DO I haven't used in a long time. You can get too much software to where you start forgetting what you have. That's why God, it's expensive, but I'm going to have to upgrade my computer here in a few weeks, maybe less. And I've got to go and inventory everything I have, so I make sure I got it. Everything is backed up. So when I put it on the new computer and I take it off here, I don't lose anything. But there's so much stuff over the last, I don't know how many years that I've compiled. I got stuff that I don't even use anymore that I don't know what to do with it. A lot of years ago, I bought a bunch of stuff from IK Multimedia, but there was a ton of companies doing a lot of their own stuff, and they had all these synthesizers and these strings. I mean, I ended up getting some really nice strings from them. It was the Miroslav strings, which is incredible, but compared to what I have now, I don't have a use for it. I don't use strings a lot anyway. Somebody got me into getting Metropolis Arc 1 and 2 about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I haven't used it. I can't get it to install. I'm going to have to email them and go, the libraries won't connect. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it will when I install to the new computer, but that's more strings than I'll ever use, because Albion 1 from Spitfire is absolutely incredible. I've got Spitfire solo strings that are amazing. But then when I upgraded to Complete 13, I forgot the count, the newest Complete, the strings in there are incredible. You've got just bukus of stuff. And like I said, I'm not an orchestral guy, so I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? But those tools are in your arsenal if you ever need them. So if you're doing what I'm doing, or, find the tools of what you do the best, or what you know you can use a lot of. Even if you don't use them for a long time, they're there. It's like, I'm sure painters and artists have pencils and brushes and paints and stuff that they may not use for a long time, but they have it if they need to go search their, arsenal of tools for it, and lay them out. So that's a whole nother subject for later, talking about templates and all that jazz. I'm weird when it comes to that stuff. But anyway, guys, the sonic extensions with Omnisphere are absolutely incredible if you use Omnisphere. If you don't, you need to use Omnisphere. Even if you don't get Keyscape and the other. Spectrasonics bass plugin Trillion, hands down, best bass plugin in the world. Not because I use it. I'm just telling you, go watch it. The sound quality is incredible, and the articulations of what Trillion can do. Now, I don't know what they have by 808s when you get a lot of hip-hop guys using 808s. I think there are some, and you can manipulate them to do 808s. I'm not a hip-hop guy, so when I have to do hip-hop, I have something called the Urban 808. It goes into Contact. I'm sorry, can't talk. But it's called Urban 808s, and I use their clean 808, but they have a bunch of different ones that you can use. And I was like, okay, that works for me, because I don't know how to build 808s. Not to say I can't learn, but I have so much other stuff that, it's the old saying, be the jack of all trades, master of none. You can spread yourself too thin, you start getting into too many genres. Hip-hop's just one of those genres that occasionally, excuse me, my nose is itching. Occasionally, it's one of those genres that I do a few each year for a particular publisher, and I'm not a hip-hop composer, but I seem to be doing something within that hip-hop that's getting placements. And I don't know how to really build hip-hop percussion. I can do it. I learned how to do the hi-hats. But a lot of times I've got a whole pack of hi-hat grooves and different stuff that I pulled down from Splice. Unapologetically, I'm use Splice for some things. I use it for percussion, most for anything. The only thing I use Splice other than that for is I may take a strip of audio, like a loop, and I may stretch it, change the key and progression, chop it up, and do something like you're supposed to do with loops. I've talked about that before, and if you want to hear me talk about that, there's other videos. Go look in the pile. But it's just one of those things that with hip hop, I've got some really cool tools that I key out my own melodies and do my own stuff. I have, however, found something cool with hip hop that works well is Output's Arcade. Go look up Output. They're an incredible company. I don't even know why I did this, but I think I have everything Output makes now. I don't know how I'm going to use all of it. Exhale and all that jazz. I got to go in and learn all that stuff. There's some things with Exhale. I want to do it for more of the vocals, but I'm trying to pull that out and try to go find it. So we're going to have to get on YouTube and go learn. But I use Output's Pulse Signal for tension. It's incredible. Signal is absolutely incredible. But they have an instrument called Arcade, and it's a sample-based thing. And there's a lot of people you wouldn't believe that use it. And what they do is they'll use it something as starters. They pick their key and their progression, build their own progressions. In fact, go watch a video on YouTube where a guy that helped create some of the stuff for one of their lines in Arcade's called Nashville, and it's a lot of guitar and percussion lines and various things. And you can manipulate it, make your own progression, change it. And you do it as starter tools to write guitar. It was amazing. Man, I could write a guitar progression. And a lot of times what you started with in Arcade, you take it out of there because you've helped start something that evolves into a completely new track. So there's a plus to using loops and using a tool as a starter to help you write stuff. But whatever you do, I've said it before and I'll say it again, and anytime I talk about it, I'll tell you. Don't just use that loop, throw it in, and call it yours, because they ain't gonna work, folks. I can tell you by experience, and what I've seen over the last, I don't know how many years, it's not gonna work. It won't work. Don't do it. Percussion loops are different, and you should be okay on that, unless you're just using a complete Led Zeppelin drum track that's obvious. You just can't throw it in there and do that. However, depends on what you chop it up and use the kick and make your own patterns with it, It's how you get good drum sounds, folks. But anyway, I'm jumping off here. But listen, Spectrasonics, sonic extensions, man, absolutely incredible. And if you're not using Omnisphere, you should. It's incredible. Look at all their products. Spectrasonics is an incredible company. And I can tell you right now, since Omnisphere 2 came out, I don't know how many years ago, every update they've done has been free. That's how incredible they are. We're talking about updates that should have been paid. I mean, Omnisphere 2 came out, let me see, I've forgotten, 5-6 years ago or more? I don't even know. Maybe less. They've done tons of updates and they haven't been paid. Now, these sonic extensions are paid, but they have a cool feature of you buy one, get one half off, and you can buy 4 for the price of 2, and they're not very expensive. They're very inexpensive. If you do lo-fi, look up their lo-fi sonic extension. It's incredible. Oh my gosh. I already use Lo-Fi Glow and Native Instruments, and I have some other stuff, which is cool. So, and I've used Lo-Fi Glow in some of the tension tracks that I've done. So some of this stuff that you think you buy that wouldn't work with a genre of music, you start digging around, you'll find things that are. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm off. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Be cool. Bye.